investment of your time. So I'm just going to mute everyone really quickly just so I can do this. Okay. Right. And let me spotlight my video. Okay. So we're going to have a few more people I see coming in and out. So basically, welcome. I'm super excited to share a crow workshop with you. And it's really just the culmination of everything that I've learned through my own experience being on the mat, basically every week for the past 4 years. So I'm not gonna sit here and say I practice every day for the past 4 years. That's a lie. But I haven't missed a week more or less in the past 4 years. And as you start to practice something over and over and over again, you start to find what works, right? And what doesn't work. If some of you are teachers, you know what I'm talking about. And I had a lot of students and friends ask for crow workshop, so I figured let's do it. And so we'll have a lot of fun today. There's going to be some skill work. There will be not so much discussion. There'll be a lot of action, a lot of getting messy, a lot of just being on our hands and crow. And I have an outline, and we'll see where it goes. So before we get into practice, I just want to presence, and I encourage you guys to drop what you know about your crow. No poeticism intended. What I mean is drop I have crow. I already know everything there is to know about crow. I'm not going to learn anything, right? That gets in the way. Also drop, I can't do crow, right? Crow is too hard for me. It's just not meant for me. I'll never get crow, right? That kind of gets in our way too. So I just want you to suspend your belief, so to speak, for the next 75 minutes or so. Then afterwards, you can pick it back up. But really come into this practice today from brand new, from zero, from empty. Okay, so that's all I'll say. Let's just get started with a flow. Come into downward dog. So we'll warm up, we'll practice with you, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty of crow and everything. But just for now, probably take 15, maybe a 20-minute flow, warm up the body, warm up the hands as people start to come in, So yeah, nothing forced right here. Move around in any way. You could shimmy shake, you can pedal it out, you can shift the weight to one hand and then shift the weight to the other hand. Just come into your practice, into your body. And look to a point. Set your drishti. Set your eyes to the back of your mat. Generate your ujjayi breathing. So breathe in and out through your nose. Inhale. And exhale. And breathe in. And breathe out. 2 more times. In breath. Out breath. 1 more, no rush. Fill up all the way. Empty out all the way. Ragdoll. Walk to the front of your mat. Grab for your opposite elbows. And sway, move, and rock side to side. Move your head around. Yes, no. Seal your lips, close your mouth. And lift up through your tailbone. Lift your sitting bones to the sky. Spin your inner ankles to the back of the mat. Press your outer ankles down into the floor. Breathe in. Empty out. Drop your hands to the floor. Toe heel your feet in together. Nice and slow. Stand up. Good afternoon. Take your arms to the ceiling. Samastitihi. Standing at attention. No tension. Attention, but no tension. Hands to a prayer at your heart center. 1 Om. Inhale. Om. Huge breath in. Open your mouth, clear it out. Extended mountain pose. Look up, stretch up. Forward fold, bow. Halfway lift, flat back. Chaturanga, low plank. Nice and slow, nice and slow. We're just warming up here, all right? Upward dog, be aware of your hands. Our hands we're gonna use our hands a lot today. Downward facing dog. 2 breaths, inhale. And exhale. Stretch your 10 fingers across your mat. Breathe in. Breathe out. Look forward. Walk or jump to the front of the mat. Halfway up. Forward fold. Extended mountain, sweep up. Bow forward. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, low plank. Up dog. Downward dog. Good. Keep moving around. And just waking up the wrists here, waking up the fingertips, the finger muscles, the muscles in our hand. Stretch the webbing out in between each and every finger. You can even look. And then plug into your index finger and your middle finger, and then the ring finger, pinky finger, and thumb knuckles. Right? Press down from there and straighten out your arms. Breathe in. Empty out. Walk or jump forward. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair. 1 breath. Easy chair. Forward fold. Bow. Halfway lift. Lengthen your spine. Low plank. Up dog. Downward dog. Step your right foot forward, warrior 1. Wake up your body, wake up your fingers, stretch your 10 fingers wide apart. Come up. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward dog. Left foot forward, warrior 1. Huge breath in as you come up. Pump it in. Chaturanga, low. Up dog. So building heat is our intention right now. Downward dog. We're awakening our physical body and awakening to our life, to our mat, and to what's possible. So what's possible for us in crow, what's possible for us in yoga, and then beyond. What's possible for us in life. Breathe in. Empty out. Walk or jump forward. Halfway lift. Forward bend. Chair. Bow forward. Long spine, no rush. We got all the time. Chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward dog. Warrior 1, right foot forward. We're just flowing, all right? We're just flowing, moving, breathing. Hands to the mat, low plank. Up dog. Down dog. Warrior 1, left foot forward. Press down into your 2 feet. Lift up. Chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward dog. One more time through. Breathe in. Breathe out. Just 1 breath. Walk or jump to the front of your mat. Or fan in the flame, inner flame, halfway up. Forward bend. Utkatasana, chair. Uttanasana, bow. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Chaturanga Dandasana, low plank. Upward dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Warrior one, right foot forward. If you're a Vajrasana one, come up. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Left foot forward, go. Let's ride the wave, ride the wave, ride the wave, ride the wave. Chaturanga. It's like we're surfing. Up dog. Our mat is a giant surfboard. Down dog. Oh, flow. Bring your feet together. Lift your right leg to the sky. Bend your upper knee. And then take your upper hip over your lower hip. And just stay here this afternoon. Stay in the three legs. Come onto the tippy toe of your bottom foot. I'm going to modify the sequence a little bit, not to smoke us. All right. And then downward dog. Crescent lunge, right foot forward. So I intentionally took out side plank. Some of you JIPers are like, where's side plank? I took it out on purpose. Arms to the sky. Crescent lunge. We'll have plenty of wrist and shoulder work. Don't worry, I promise. Bring your hands to a prayer. Twist to the right. Good. And now consider this as the foundation for the rest of our workshop. This, what we're doing right here. So you want to cultivate presence. You want to cultivate alignment. You want to cultivate structure. Take a breath in. Empty out, twist. Warrior two. All right, cultivating presence, side angle pose. And it'll carry us. The flow will carry us to crow. You know, we'll fly to great heights together. We just got to give up whatever's in our way. Maybe that's thinking. Maybe that's your doubts. Doubt your doubts and trust. Breathe in. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Feet together. Left leg to the sky. Bend the knee and stack your hip. Three-legged dog. Now open up through the entire left side of your body. Left hip, left armpit. Oh, open, open. Downward dog. Ha. Crescent lunge. Left foot forward. That's one of the 8 universal principles who's stepping up to our edge. We're all going to step up to our edge today. You and me. Bring your hands to a prayer at your heart center. Twist to the left. Is doubt your doubts, or believing your doubts is the, one of the common mistakes of beginners. We're all beginners at heart. So you got to doubt your doubts, suspend your judgment. And as Rumi says, embrace your curiosity. Breathe in. Twist, breathe out. Warrior two from your core. Come on. From your core. Yeah, nice. Side angle pose. Any way that works for you. Remember, not trying to red line here. We're just warming up. We just warm up the body, the shoulders, the joints. Suspend your cleverness. That's how the quote goes from Ruby. Suspend your cleverness. Breathe in. Low plank. Ha. Up dog. Downward dog. Walk to the front of your mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair. Utkatasana. Pavrita Utkatasana to the right. Chair pose with the twist. Yeah, you got it. Hook your elbow. Your left elbow on the outside of your right thigh. On the outside of your right quadricep. Then press your elbow into your quad. Quad into the elbow. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, twist. One more, inhale. On an exhalation, twist, lift your chest off the tops of your thighs. Utkatasana. Forward fold. Split your feet apart, hip width. Fingers to toes, forward fold. Yogi toe lock. Bend your knees, bend your elbows, drop your head towards the floor. Ready, you guys? I hope you're ready. We're gonna create something great together. Well, you are ready. Consider you're ready now. Share. Just consider that for a moment, for everything in your life. You're ready now. Bring your hands to a prayer at your heart center. Twist to the left. My friend Brandon Summers just opened up his own teaching and meditation offering to the greater world. Good work. He's ready now for that. And I'm sure you had to give things up for that, Brandon, huh? I'm sure you had to give things up. And I'm just using Brandon as an example for all of us. Like, yeah, we got to give stuff up to create what we want. And we're ready right now. So no dilly-dallying. Breathe in. Twist, breathe out. Chair, all we've got is right here. All we've got is where our 2 feet are. Forward fold, bow. Gorilla. Slide your hands beneath your feet. Stretch your toes across your hands. Aha. Stretch your toes across your hands. Drop your head towards the floor. Take a full breath in. Open your mouth. Good work. Step up your hands. Take a seat. Nice job. All right. We're going to jump right into it, right into our work. So yeah, if you want to, at any time, if you want to drink water, get a towel off, do that. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but just try to be present. It's going to go by like that. So without further ado, let's get into our crow mastery, being up to mastery in our crow. So we're going to start today with our hands, okay? Because crow is done on your hands, right? Normally we do most yoga poses on our feet, but today we're doing crow on our hands. So we're going to spend a lot of times here. And one of the things that people ask me the most is like, okay, how do I set my hands up? Whether it be for crow or whether it be for a handstand, any type of arm balance. And I'm going to show you the side of the front of my palm. We actually want our pressure. This is what we'll call the knuckle pad. Okay, just for today, we'll call this the knuckle pad. You want the pressure in the triads of the hand, which is your index finger and your middle finger and right here, right next to the thumb. So that, let me show it right here. Yeah, there we go. So this little area in the hand is where we want most of our pressure, okay? And that's basically beneath the knuckles, right? So on the other side, beneath the knuckles. And then also the fingertips. You guys see my fingertips? Thumbs up. Right? So my fingertips, we want always touching the ground. Now what happens, what confuses a lot of people is, let's call these the finger joints. Okay? So different than the knuckle. This is our knuckle. Is that clear? Right? These are the finger joints. The finger joints can actually come off the mat. See how my finger's making a C? In reality, what I want touching the mat is my finger, is the fingertips and the knuckles. The finger joints can actually come off the ground. Okay, so if I'm losing you, don't worry. We're going to do an exercise to do that. Everyone take your hands out in front of you like this. Okay, bring your hands together, touch your hands, and then stretch your fingers out wide apart like that. All right, now for the sake of this, I want you to do that little claw so that your fingertips and your knuckle pads are touching and the joints are separating. So do that. Let the finger joints spread a little bit. Good. And then you want to really press firmly into the knuckle pad of the index finger and the middle finger into one another. And if you're doing it with enough force, with enough pressure, if you look down at your palms, right? So you take your palms down, look at the bottoms of your palms. There should be like a little suction cup, a little bit of space like that. So it's a lot easier to show you in person, but we're going to make do with the camera, right? So this is default. Take a look up here real quick. This is default. You see how there's no space? Then this is the suction cup. Do you see how there's a little bit of space in between the bottoms of my palms? So now to activate that, you have to press what we call the triads into the floor or into one another. So let's experiment with this. Come onto your mat. If you're not there already, you're already on your mat. And take downward dog. Okay? Take downward dog. And look at your two hands. Stretch your 10 fingers across your mat. Okay? Make sure there's about an inch, half an inch between each and every finger, and that the thumb isn't way far away. The thumb is somewhat close to the index finger. Now, do that little claw action. Press the tips of the fingers down, press the knuckles down. If the joints, finger joints come up, that's okay. If you need to modify this, you can do it on your knees. That's okay too. All right? So just play around with that for a few more seconds, and I want you to really discover what it's like to press and shift your weight into your knuckles with your knuckles and your palms flat on the earth. And then curl your fingers back towards your wrists so you fire up there. And this is going to be our whole foundation today. That's why I'm spending so much time on it. We got to really get it. Okay? A few more counts. And then try not doing that. Like, give no intention to your hands. Just kind of let your weight shift into your wrists. See what that's like. Doesn't feel so good, right? And then re-engage the knuckles. The knuckle pads. Re-engage the fingertips and really claw the floor. Good. Take a seat. Okay. Does that make sense so far? You don't have to be nice. If you're not tracking with me, let me know and we can break it down a little more. Anyone have any questions? Just raise your hand and we could get into it. Okay, good. You're all fast learners. All right. So just to explain why I'm spending so much time on that is because we're going to do this for the next about 45 minutes or so, balancing on our hand. And if we don't get our hand, our foundation set up in proper alignment, it's like building a house on sand. The whole thing's going to crumble. You know what I'm saying? So we got to really be meticulous about and intentional about setting up our palms, setting up our hands. That's the framework for the exercise. Okay, really good. So from there, now let's play with, we're going to start really simple and then we'll elevate and we'll take this, I don't even know, we're going to take this somewhere, but we're going to start small. So come back, well, you're on your mat already. So let's try coming into crow and treat this as the first time ever. So what I want you to do is stand up. Everyone stand up. We'll do this together, okay? Bend your knees and then take your hands flat to the floor in front of you, okay? Hands flat to the floor in front of you. Now just take this on step by step. Then create your hands and your fingers. Stretch your 10 fingers across your mat, yeah? Press into the knuckles, get that hand suction cup happening. Very good. Now keep the arms straight for a sec, just keep them straight. And then bend your knees a little bit. You're gonna bring your torso, your butt towards the floor. Step 2, lean forward into your hands. Don't take your feet off the floor. Just come onto your tippy toes. Bring your knees in towards your arms, backs of your arms. So I'm showing it on the side if you need to see it. And then just for right now, bend your elbows a little bit so you make a little shelf. Come onto the tippy toes and just lift your right foot off the ground. Just the right foot. If this is really easy, don't worry, we'll get a little more challenging, but I want to drill the fundamentals. Good, now keep the hands active. Your hands are everything. Keep the foot in the air. Now look at your right foot. Stretch the 5 toes. Wake the 5 toes up. Keep that active for 5 seconds just to drill it in the body. 4, squeeze your core up and in. 3, 2, and then 1, reset. Stand up. Shake out your hands. I know we're going slow, but we're really driving the fundamentals. And then reset, set it back up. Take your hands to the floor, and we're gonna go to the left leg, or the left foot rather. So we're working one-legged, 1 foot up at a time. So create your foundations. That's it, stretch your fingers across the mat, firm your arms up, and then bring your knees to the backs of your arms. Good, Eric. And then tippy toes, good, everyone. Kirsten, knees into the arms, knees into the arms. Good. Now just lift the left foot up. Keep the right foot down, just the left foot up. That's it. Now squeeze in like an accordion, body in, belly in, and stretch your 5 toes. Wake the 5 toes up. It's gonna all come together, I promise. Stretch the 5 toes in your left foot. And now hold. 5, stay with this. 4, squeeze up and in, that's it, Shannon. 3, 2, 1, release, good work. Okay, you could take a seat and just shake it out. Now, let me talk to why we're doing the foot. So similarly, you know how we stretch our hands out, right? What happens is we forget our feet. They're just there, right? You're like, my feet are there. They're really not a part of the pose. I don't really care about them. Contraire, your feet are everything. Even though we're balancing on our hand, if we don't have our feet active, we lose the core strength that's going to help us balance, and we lose the total body integrity. What we talk about in Baptiste yoga, the whole being the goal. We want to use our whole muscular system in one at one go, so to speak. We don't want to just use the arms and then just use the shoulders and then just use the legs. We want to work everything up and in. Okay, so that's why we're spending some time on the feet. So far we've talked about the hands and we've talked about the feet. Pretty good. So now we'll come back to our crow. So take your hands first always. Be a master with creating your hands. Knees into the triceps, okay? Knees into the triceps. Squeeze your belly up and in. Really squeeze it up and in. Now, lift the right foot again, and then take the right foot down. And then lift the left foot. We're gonna go back and forth now. And take the left foot down. And lift the right foot. Your core should be working like crazy. And then the right foot down, left foot up. Left foot down, squeeze in. 5 more times. 1. 1. 2. Toes active every time. 2. Okay, 3. 3. 4, squeeze in. 4, belly up and in. 5. 5. Good. And then recover. Take a seat. All right. So I want to presence now your abdominals, your core, right? What we call Uddiyana Bandha. That's your core engagement, your abdominal lock. As we're doing this, it's a lot, I know, to process. We're going to stretch the fingers. We're going to stretch the toes. And we're going to keep our belly engaged and up and in the whole time. So your belly should feel like it's on fire. Okay? So the next thing, now we're building blocks here. Let's come back into crow, or our crow setup. Our crow setup. Take your hands to the floor, butt high. So butt high. Stretch your fingers across your mat. Knees in to the triceps. Okay. Toes active. Check. Fingers active. Check. Core active. Check. Now bend the arms and play with lifting both feet up. Maybe you just lift one foot up and you're a crow, or try to lift both up. Now, if your feet come up, squeeze your inner edges of the feet in towards one another and work on pulling the heels in towards your butt. So heels in, squeeze in, press down. 3, mounds of the knuckles down. 2, toes active. And then 1. Whew, release, good. Shake that out a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna pause right there. I told you we're gonna do a lot of wrist work, right? Does anyone have any questions so far? Anything anyone want me to clarify? Yeah, Brad, what's up?
I just want to check how close when you're putting your hands down. How close should they be to your feet?
Good question. Okay, good question, Brad. Thank you. Thank you. So we want the hands shoulder width. I forgot to presence that. So our hands are going to be shoulder width. Now, great question to Brad, to your point. As I'm doing my crow setup, right? You see, can you guys still see? As I'm doing my crow setup. Okay. So you want,
it's a little blurry, Austin.
Yeah.
It's a little blurry. Okay. Thank you. So what you'll want is the toes maybe like 3 or 2 inches away from your wrists. So let's do that actually. Everyone come into your crow setup. Let's experiment with that. Take your hands to the floor. And then, yeah, maybe like the feet. So feet directly behind the wrist creases. Adjust that. You may need to bend your knees a lot. And maybe like 2 or 3 inches or so. There's no right or wrong. Whatever works. Now, then from here, press into the knuckles. Press into the triads of each hand. Come on to the tippy toes. Tippy toes. Then knees to the backs of your arms. Knees in. That's it. Now squeeze in. Bend the elbows and lean forward. And maybe you come up, maybe you don't. And that's it. So you're just tipping forward. You're just tipping forward. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2. Very gently with grace. Come out. There you go. Yeah. So as far as what I like to do, that's a great question, Brad. Thank you. Is my feet are right behind my wrists. So the setup is like not that much further, because in theory, we're just leaning forward. We're using our hips as a leverage to balance on the hands. So when we do our squat, we want our butt, our tailbone as high as we can, but we still want to be able to bring our hands towards the floor. So if you need to bend your knees a little bit, that's okay. And then exactly to your question. So my feet are right behind my wrists, maybe about 1 inch or 2 of separation. Then I bring my knees into the arms. And then I slowly lean forward and lift myself up and pull my core up and in and heels up. Okay. Well, we'll do a little bit more work on that. Thank you, Brad. Does anyone else have a question so far?
Yeah.
Something that I can clarify? Yeah, feel free. Who's that? Elisa?
Elisa, yeah. So your heels and your big toes are touching too? So your heels are together?
So good question. Yeah. So actually my heels aren't touching at the start. Okay. So I'm just walking this through my body and then I'll come back up there. So my heels aren't touching. I'm lifting my tippy toes up first. And then I'll lift maybe 1 foot up and then the other foot. And then when my feet are up, then I'll bring the heels and the toes in. So that's actually a really good question, Elisa. So 1 foot up, 2 feet up, and then you want to bring the inner arches together. Because if we don't bring the inner arches together, we lose out on some core engagement, that total body expression. So everyone, let's do that. Come back to your crow setup. Okay. Set it up with care. Hands first, always. Always our hands. First thing we set up. Feet active, legs active. Okay. Feet behind the wrists. Next, knees into the arms, knees into the triceps. And then lift one leg up. Balance here. Lift the other leg up. Now don't let the feet splay out. Pull the feet in. Ankles in. Bottom, inner edges of the feet, big toes in. And keep the toes stretched. Press into the knuckles. 3, 2, and release. Very good. That answer your question, Elisa? Yeah? Awesome. Okay. Any other questions before we move on?
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Hi. I can. Go ahead.
Does the knee go like behind it, your tricep, or like on the side?
Good question. Good question. I was going to get into that next. Okay. So there's different levels to it. Okay. A modification, which I'll give like a lot of raw beginners, or just, no, I don't mean like that. Or maybe you don't have the strength. Let's just say that. Maybe the strength isn't happening. You're not able to get your feet off the ground and you're just struggling, right? It happens to us. So the knees on the side and squeezing in is actually a little bit easier, but we're working towards the full crow, right? Which is the knees behind, like kind of pressed right into the triceps, the back of the triceps. But let's explore that. So let's come to our setup. Great question. Let's come to our setup. Okay. We're gonna keep doing this a lot, so you really get it in your bones. Set up your crow, hands first, feet second, and then this time, walk your feet out a little wider. So feet a little wider, so the feet aren't behind the wrist, they're actually on the outside. And then bend your knees and bring your knees to the outsides of your arms. To the outsides of your arms. Don't come up yet. You tracking with me? Now come onto the tippy toes. Knees press into the arms. And then try this on. You're gonna squeeze your knees into your arms and you're gonna press your arm back into your knee. So it's gonna be a pull and a press, balanced action. So squeeze the legs into the knees, into the arms, squeeze the arms back into the knees, squeeze this for 5, really squeeze, 4, 3, 2, and release, 1. Recover, recover. We'll get a chance to go a little further. All right, so now what that's gonna do, it's gonna be more of like a spring closing effect. That's essentially what's happening here. And it's a little bit easier because we have a little bit more of a support. So now let's try that with the feet lift. So come back to crow. Come back to your position. Take your position, soldier. Hands first. You're gonna get sick of me saying it, but it works. Okay, take the feet wide. Knees to the outside of the triceps. Squeeze them in. And then same principles, bend the elbows, lean forward, lift the feet up. Now, if you can, try to draw the feet together. Draw the feet together, inner edges of the feet to touch. Stretch your toes out. Press down into your knuckles. Press down into the tips of the fingers. 3, belly in, 2, and release. Reset. That one's a little easier. Okay, shake out your hands. Let it go, let it go. Shake it out. Shake out your body. Now, for reference, let's do this again, but the other way. Knees to the backs of the triceps. So take your set up your crow. Plant your hands. This time, knees to the backs of the triceps, so directly behind the tricep. It's a little harder. Same principles though. Stretch the toes, bend the elbows, lean forward, and fly. 5, stretch the toes. 4, bring your feet together. 3, like an accordion, in, 2, and then with grace, step back. Good, take a seat. Nice job. Did that answer your question? Do you see the difference between the knees on the outside and the knees on the inside? Which one was easier? Who wants to share? Which one was easier? Knees in or knees out? Someone. You have to unmute yourself though. It's like we're in a group, but we're not.
So the knees out was easier for me, and that's how I did it, for the first 6 months of my practice. And now when you set it up like that, knees behind the triceps actually feels more stable.
Awesome. So you discovered that, Eric.
It's also
that's amazing.
When your knees
that's a breakthrough, buddy.
On the elbow, it's like kind of hurt.
Right?
Yeah,
that's normal. So you don't like that, Rosie, because it hurts a little bit?
Yeah, it's a little bit tough. And also when I lift my feet up, I kind of like feel like it's losing balance. Maybe
I'm sorry, it's losing balance?
Yeah. Lift my feet.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's also a great realization. So actually, that's normal, Rosie. So what happens is we get used to doing crow a certain way, kind of like how Eric shared, with the knees on the outside, and maybe we stretch the feet out, and that works for us, right? To a certain degree. And then we try something newer, right? We're like, oh, what is it like if I take my arms, or I take my knees behind my arms and I bring my feet together? And at first there's a lot of resistance, totally. And you're like, this is weird. I don't normally do it this way. All those things that come up, this may hurt, but it's almost like if you ever played golf or tennis or or baseball, in some type of sport, and then you go to take a lesson, and the professional, I'm not calling myself a professional, what I'm saying, but like the golf instructor or the tennis instructor or the baseball instructor messes with your swing, and you're like, I don't know, man, that feels kind of weird. And they're like, no, just trust me. Like, just trust me on this one. And then slowly, I'm speaking to my own experience, but slowly over time, I played tennis for many years. And slowly over time, I started to realize, oh, this is what he's getting at. So Rosie, why I'm saying this is to your point, like, yeah, totally. It may feel weird. It may feel like I'm messing up your crow, but that's okay. And I'm just saying, just try it like with this and keep trying it. And then you could always go back to your crow that you like it. Today, I'm just giving you options, and I'm just speaking from my experience, if that makes sense. Yeah?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, but that's a really great discovery to be like, I don't know, this feels kind of weird. I don't know if I like this. And it's just like, you see, and then you figure out what works for you in your own body and in your own practice. Okay. So any other questions before we move on from there?
I have one. Where should your eyes be? Where should you be looking? Forward, backwards? Should your eyes be going with you? I feel like I never know where to look.
Great question, Kirsten. Okay, let's do it. I'll walk us through it. So everyone set up your crow. What comes first? Hands. What comes second? Feet. What comes third? Core. All right. So what Kirsten is asking is, where do we set our gaze, our drishti? Great question. So what I like to do is set my drishti like maybe 6 inches in front of my hands. Okay, so 6 inches in front of my hands. Now keep your eyes glued to that spot. Your drishti points to that spot. And I'm going to walk us through this nice and slow. Step 1, create your hands. Step 2, stretch the toes, wake the feet up. Step 3, engage your core. Step 4, lean forward and lift up. But keep your eyes glued, drishti, don't move your eyes. 5, keep the eyes steady. 4, steady. 3, feet together, stretch the toes. 2, release. Good work. Okay. So drishti, that's a great question. Shame on me for not speaking to that. That's going to help us balance too. So for today, I want you to just keep setting your eyes about 6 inches in front of you to the floor. That'll help you focus. As you grow in your crow, no rhyme intended, but as you grow in your crow practice, then you're able to lift yourself up a little easier. I'm just going to demonstrate this one. You can take your eyes forward. So I can look forward, yeah, but I have a little bit more experience with this, and I'm a little bit higher. But there's nothing wrong with setting the eyes forward. It's actually easier on the neck and just chilling here. And that will help me balance. That will help us balance. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Okay. So yeah, so drishti, you'll want to set your eyes right between like 6 inches in front of your two hands. Any other questions before we start to take this to other places and the transitions that we can do with crow?
Could I add something really quick?
Please.
Cool. This is so helpful. Thank you for having this. What you were just speaking to about drishti, one time I had a teacher talk about, it's like she lifts her eyebrows up, and that was really helpful for me to get to that place between looking in front of me and then eventually looking forward. Just that idea of lift. So I kind of look silly in the pose, but lifting the eyebrows up helped me to move my gaze. So that might be helpful.
Oh, okay. Can we try that?
Sure. Yeah.
Let's try it. All right, everyone, let's try that. Thank you. I like that as a contribution to the gift. All right, let's do that. So everyone, set your crow. Ready? Steady. Stretch the fingers. Wake your feet up. All right. And drishti forward, and then start to, I like that. Yeah, lift the eyebrows up. Start to look forward. Take your gaze forward. See where it takes you. Eyebrows up. 3. Look a little higher. 2. And release. Oh, I like that. I just discovered something. Thank you. I just discovered something myself. That's really awesome. Cool. So there you have it, right? You could keep fixed drishti, fixed gaze, or you can take we'll call it eyebrows up. We'll say eyebrows up, drishti. And the more you guys practice this, the more you'll get it in your body. And this is just a 75-minute workshop, so it's gonna go like that. Where this work is really gonna land in your body and transform is through your daily or your weekly yoga practice. You know, these are the foundations, the tools of building our practice, and then we gotta keep working them, keep working them, keep working them. Okay, great. Anyone else before we move on? No shame, nothing big deal. I'd love to hear from you. Great, awesome. All right, let's keep moving forward. So let's talk about the jump back to crow. I'm sorry, the jump back to chaturanga from crow. So it's like you take a class, then you hear the instructor, 5, 4, 3, 2, chaturanga, and you're like, huh? You know, or like you belly flap, and you're like, what? How? You're like, how are people doing that? You know, and like, yeah, you're like, what the hell? So we're gonna discover that today. So let's set our crow back up. Back to our crow. Stretch your fingers. Create your feet in any way that works for you. Knees to the backs of the arms or knees to the side. Maybe you lift one foot up, and maybe you lift two. Okay, come up into crow. Okay, now squeeze in, really squeeze in, belly up and in. Press down into your two hands. Now set your drishti, your gaze forward towards the floor. And then ready, we're gonna just step our right foot back. Ready, 3, ready, 2, nice and controlled, 1, just shoot the right leg back. And you may be a little messy, that's okay. If you fall, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Okay, good. Okay, come up, shake it out. We're gonna get a little messy with it. Whew. Okay, ready, set, crow again. Crow again. Set your eyes, stretch your fingers, and then lift up, take crow. Okay, 5, like the accordion, squeeze in. 4, drishti to the floor. Gonna move the left foot out now. 3, keep the toes active in the left foot. 2, best you can, shoot it behind you, just the left leg. And then you may fall, like I just fell too. Okay, good. Reset. We're getting messy on purpose. Reset, hands and feet. Shake it out. Ha, 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 ha. All right, here we go. Crow. We're getting stronger. Every time we do this, we're getting a little stronger, a little bit more proficient. Okay, take your crow. Take your crow. Come up, 5. Now we're gonna try both feet back. 4, but really stretch the toes, pull the feet in. 3, engage your core. 2, then try your best, chaturanga. See if that happened like a ninja. Oh, you may fall, it's okay, Brad. Good, and then up dog. Ah, downward dog. Woo. Okay, take a seat. All right, so that is a very tricky maneuver, right? It takes a lot of not only strength, but balance and coordination. Now, I would almost encourage you, and you may call me crazy, but to keep trying it in class and belly flopping. Belly flop, damn it, I belly flop. Damn it, I belly flop. Damn it, I belly flop. And you may need to belly flop like 50 times, maybe 1,000 times. But eventually you'll start to get your feet and you'll just land in, let me show it from the side, chaturanga, like that. So I just want to walk through it one more time before we try it again. So even if you're here, 3, 2, 1, and then you take chaturanga and you belly flop, that's okay. First, you got to be able to shoot the legs back. It has to be one line of energy, like one line of energy. You guys know like the jump back from halfway lift to chaturanga? Yes or no? It's very similar to that. Let's actually do that. So take halfway lift. Take halfway lift. All right? We'll walk us through this. Take halfway lift. This is going to translate. Okay, so you're in halfway lift. Now, you bend your knees a little bit in this halfway lift so that you can get your palms flat on the floor, about shoulder width or maybe a little wider. And then just like crow, create them like crow. Stretch your fingers, ground into the knuckles. Good. What about the feet? Wake the 10 feet up. Oh, the 10 feet. Wake the 2 feet up, your 10 toes up. Okay. Then from here, Squeeze your belly up and in. You feel this? There should be a lot of work happening. Every muscle in your body is engaging and squeezing in. Then we're gonna try the jump back to chaturanga on my count. Okay, so squeeze everything in. Keep your drishti forward to 1 point, just like we were in crow. 3, squeeze in. 2, squeeze in. Chaturanga, jump. Jump it back. Yeah, up dog. That looked good. Downward dog. Nice work. Okay, now let's try that again, but crow this time. So come into crow. Come into crow. Just try your best. Don't worry if it doesn't work out. We're working towards something. Not perfect. Just, okay, so crow. Now, same principles. Fingers, toes, core, and belly. All right. 3, squeeze everything in like mad. Everything in like crazy. 2, shoot it back. Go. Chaturanga. Yeah, that was better. Yeah, up dog. Nice job. Downward dog. Good. Take a seat. Excellent work. Take a seat. Okay, what questions do you have so far on the jump back, if there are any? It's a lot of work. I'm out of breath, as you can, right? But that's the level of intensity you need. You got to really be squeezing in, Uddiyana Bandha, shoulders in, legs in, core in, so it activates your whole body as one unit. Okay, any questions on that?
Austin,
Yes.
what do you do the split second before you shoot back? Like, do you think something? Like, what do you do to prepare to shoot back?
Oh,
like, do you like pulling your core? Like, there's so many things to do beforehand. So I'm just wondering, like, what happens right before you shoot back?
Good question. Yes. So yeah, no, it's a great question. So do you see why I spoke to the hands first, and then I spoke to the feet, and then I spoke to the core, and why we did those drill work? It's because you have to keep repeating that until it becomes second nature. So at a certain point in your practice, all of that becomes unconscious. But if it's still really conscious for you to be like, oh, hands, oh, wait, feet, oh, wait, core, oh, wait, drishti, give yourself some slack. It takes a lot of training. But to your question, what do I do before I jump back? Let's see. I'm going to try this out. All right, so I set up my crow. I stretch my fingers. I get ready. Okay, I'm lifted. And I'm squeezing in. I think I really try to squeeze my belly in like crazy, like pit of the belly in, ribs in towards the hips in towards the ribs. I make myself like this tight little ball, and then I'm like and then I shoot it back, like shoo. But to translate that into English, because that wasn't English, I Uddiyana Bandha like crazy.
Okay.
I think that's like if I would say one thing that will make a difference, Uddiyana Bandha, your core. Okay. Let's try again. Crow. Let's do it. Crow pose. Yeah, of course. Good question. And just know, you guys, the path to crow is paved by crow. 1 million crows until we get there. And then when we get there, we can just get better. Okay, crow. 3, Uddiyana Bandha, only focus. 2, belly up and in, shoot back, go. Up dog. Nice, Brad, I saw that. Much better. Down dog. Nice, Rosie, very good. Good work. Okay, take a seat, please. Any other questions on the jump back? If you're not out of breath, then I would say that's feedback for you. You got to squeeze in more. Really make the muscles work from your head to your toes with this total body integrity. Okay, are you guys good with that? Clear with that? Good. Okay, now let's try the jump from downward dog into crow. Before you're like, what? It's a possibility. And I remember when Bethany Lyons, my first teacher, said that, I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, you're joking, right? Like you're joking. And then no, she was like watch. And then it took me years. It took me like 2.5 years to get. But I don't want to say like you won't, like we'll see if you get it. So first I'll demonstrate and then I'll walk us through it. So what you could do is from down dog, it'd be like, okay, lift the heels, bend the knee, blah, 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 then jump. So even if you can't see me, I'm just going to walk through this, and forgive me if the camera is a little blurry. So if I'm in down dog, I'm going to lift my heels first. I'm going to bend my knees second. Now, all of our principles, my hands are still active. My toes are still active. My core is still active like crazy. And then I'm going to squeeze everything in, take a breath in, a full breath out. And then I'm going to set drishti forward, just like I would do in crow. And then jump into my crow, nice and slow. And then I could take it from here to chaturanga. So I'm going to squeeze my belly in, core in, chaturanga. And then I go up. And then I go down. Whew. That was a lot of work. Okay, let's talk that through. So this is advanced, yeah? This is advanced stuff. So don't beat yourself up if it doesn't happen. We're gonna try our best. So has everyone heard of leapfrogs before? Thumbs up if you had. You know how in leapfrogs, we get the hips up? Yeah, are you following me? You know how in a leapfrog, you get the hips up? If not, I'll just show you real quick. So in a leapfrog, right? You wanna lift your hips up and then you go down, right? Then you lift the hips up and then you go down. We want that same principle. We wanna lift the hips up and then come into crow. I know it's a crazy ask and it's possible. So what a default is, what people do is when they try to jump into it, they keep their hips low and they kind of just jump in like this straight vertical line. And it doesn't work too well. You know, you follow me? You know what I'm saying? It's like the jump forward. You don't want to do that. So what you want to do is you want, like a leapfrog, you want to lift your hips up and then very gently land on your hands. It's basically like crow in midair. So all right, let's just try this. Come to downward dog. I'll walk it through your body. Come to downward dog. All right, we'll do some leapfrogs first. So walk your feet in maybe 5-6 inches forward, okay? Now bring your big toes together. Big toes together. Okay, bend the knees. Actually, I'm sorry, take the knees out wide, but bring the feet together. So inner edges of the feet together, but knees out wide. So it's like a diamond in your legs. So feet together, but knees out wide. That's it. Now keep the legs like that. Come onto the tippy toes of your feet. Bend your knees, and then leapfrogs. Jump. Lift your hips over your wrist creases. You got everything squeezing in, just like we do in crow, right? The feet active, the toes active, our hands active. Go do that 4 more times. 4, okay, 3, okay, 2, and 1, rest. Good job, rest. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, the hips. Do you see how your hips come over the wrists in the leapfrog? Yes or no? Yes, yeah? So you want that action for crow when you jump into it. So you want that same jump from down dog into crow, your hips come high and then you land. Now, it takes a crap load of strength to do that from down dog. So how can we break this down? We have some drills for it, okay? So downward dog, everyone. I'll walk us through it. So downward dog. All right. And then shorten your dog. So walk your feet in towards your hands. Really short dog here. Okay. Now, I would say maybe about more than halfway up the mat. Now, bring your feet together, just like a leapfrog, okay? Take the knees wide. So inner edges of the feet touch, knees wide. Remember your hands, press and plug into your 2 hands. Now come in onto your tippy toes, yeah? Then look forward, drishti. And then just from this short distance, try the jump into crow. Ready, set, try it on, jump. Whoa, and then come back. And then try it again, jump. And then come back. So from that short, just try the jump on. Go maybe 5 times at your own pace. Hips high, hips high. Hips the highest point in your body. And then go back. After your 5th time, take a seat. That's it, Kirsten, but don't be afraid. You may fall. Go for it. Bring the knees to the arms. One more time. Better. That's it. Better. Good. And then take a seat. Okay, so that's going to take a lot more like some training, right, and some practice. But I just wanted to share it with you so that you can start to get it in your body. And then what happens is then you slowly start to lengthen your stance. So then you start to go midway up your mat, and then you jump. Then you go a little bit more, a little less than midway, and then you jump. And then a little less than midway, maybe full length, and then you jump. I don't want to spend too much time on that because really not so important. It's more like a party trick. I really like what a win for me today would be is like that you guys leave here like, oh, I know, like I got my hands in crow, you know, and like you got something for your crow. So I just want to be respectful of time. We are, like I said, we'll be 75 minutes. We got about 15 minutes left. What questions so far do you have before we cool down and we flow and we cool down? What questions on anything? Crow, any transition, if there are any.
Is there time to talk about side crow? If not, probably not.
Yeah, you want to talk? You want to talk about side crow?
Yeah.
You guys want to venture into side crow? Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Yeah. Okay. Good. So thank you. All right. So for side crow, I always like to say, hey, let me just walk through this and I'll walk us through it. So if we come from chair pose, twist. All right. Yeah. So we'll take the arms down. Okay. So yeah, let's do that. Everyone take chair pose. I'll walk us through this. So take chair. Okay. Bring your hands to a prayer at your heart center. All right. Step 1. Then twist to the right. Step 2. All right. Now bend the knees a lot, butt towards the floor. Open your arms. Open the arms. Take your hands to the side of your mat. Now, this requires a little bit of flexibility. So with your left tricep, press your knees into your left tricep, okay? Keep the height though, so come onto your tippy toes. So arms up. Then the same principles. Remember our hands. Stretch your fingers across the mat. Remember our toes. Stretch to make up your 10 toes. Then from here, you're gonna chaturanga your arms. So you're gonna bend the arms and then balance on your triceps. And bring your knees to your left tricep, your torso balances on your right tricep. And you can keep it here together or straighten out a leg or two. And then reset. Side crow is a little bit more work, but traditionally, that's the way we'll get into it. Let's try it on the other side. So chair will be in action. Action in the pose, action in our life. Nothing comes from thinking too much. Hands to a prayer at your heart center. Twist to the left, okay? Bend the knees a lot. Open your arms. Plant your hands to the side, right? So to the outside of your left foot. Hands on one line, right? Hands in one line. Then the same principles here. Hands and feet. Then press your knees into your right tricep. Knees together, the left knee into the right tricep. Then bend the arms, chaturanga, come onto your tippy toes. And maybe you stay here. Or maybe you lift your feet up and you fly. 5, and press down. 4, core in. 3, 2, release. 1. Oh man, side crow, not my preference, but I love it. We're figuring it out. Like, way to get uncomfortable. So we have a few more minutes. What questions? Let's take 2. What 2 questions or 1 questions do you have about side crow? If there is one. Okay. So side crow, if you want to practice it on your own in class, traditionally, if a teacher doesn't call it, it's not disrespectful to do it in chair pose twist. That's generally the time where it's, I wouldn't say accepted, but that's generally the time where you can go for it. So if you're flowing in class and you're like, hey, today's the day I want to try side crow, wait till you're in the twist, and then work the same crow principles. I'm going to say them again just because repetition is the mother of mastery. What's first? Our hands. What's second? Our feet. What's third? Our core. and then we bring it all together, and then we take flight. So if that's anything you take away from today, it's that. Okay, hands, oh yeah, then my feet, oh yeah, then my core, and then I take crow. And then it will come. Consider today we just planted the seeds of your crow, and we're watering them, and we're like, oh, why aren't they growing? Of course not, right? It's like a plant. So today we planted the seeds and we watered them. Let's finish with a little cool down flow. Downward facing dog. Drop your head. Really good work, you guys. Really, really good work. Shake your head out. Triangle, right foot forward. We're just gonna flow, not gonna hold too long. Triangle, right foot forward. Right hand to your right chin. Left arm to the sky. Squeeze in. Press down. Okay, lift up. Turn to the left side of your mat. Side facing, wide-legged forward fold. Bow over your legs. And just bask in your work, in your growth, in your commitment for growth. Halfway lift. Pyramid pose. Turn your front foot forward. Hop your back foot in. Bow over your front leg. Not long, just moving. Okay, halfway lift. Twisting triangle. Left hand down, right arm up. Nothing forced. Nice and gentle. 5, 4, 3, 2, chaturanga. Remember, hands and feet, they apply to every pose. Up dog. Plug your hands into the mat. Downward dog. Triangle pose. Left foot forward. Come up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Stand up. Face to the right side of your mat. Bow over your legs. You could bind your hands if you'd like. Whatever works. Bow over your legs. Just going to move and cool us down for a nice, well-deserved Shavasana. Relax your jaw. Relax your forehead. Breathe in. Empty out. Stand up. Turn your front foot forward. Adjust the back foot in. Pyramid. Bow over your front leg. Drop your head towards the earth. Drop your hands to the floor. Lift halfway up. Twisting triangle. Open it. Go. 5. Twist and rinse. 4. Chin tucked in towards the body. 3. Open. 2. Little plank. Chaturanga. Oh man. Up dog. That's the last chaturanga we'll do, I promise. Downward dog. Half pigeon. Right foot forward. Not long. So just set it up. Half pigeon. Move around. Dress yourself in any way. And bow over your legs. Breathe in. Breathe out. Downward dog. Half pigeon. Left leg forward. Really good work, guys. I'm inspired by you. I really mean that. It's like, we all stepped up to our growth. All of us today. It's the power of being together. Of getting out of our comfort zone and causing our lives to shift. Breathe in. Empty out. Downward dog. Walk your feet through. Take a seat. Seated forward fold. Both legs long. Grab for your feet. Bow. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Breathe in. Empty out. Lift up. Or come up rather. Plant your hands behind your seat. Easy, easy tabletop. Bend the knees. Take easy tabletop. Lift your hips up. Same principles on our hands. Stretch your fingers though, just like our crow hands. Anytime our hands are on the mat, just like our crow hands. Wake your feet up. Come down. Create an L shape with your body. If you have a block, you can use it. Legs on the block or just an L shape. And just rest, relax into the floor. Even here, stretch your 10 toes. Wake them up. Wake them up. And lower your feet to the mat. Hug your right knee in towards your chest. Oh man, I feel my core already. Supine twist. Take your leg across your body. Gaze to your right shoulder. Switch. Switch your legs. Left knee in, right leg long, and twist. Bring your knees back into your body. Give them a hug. Acknowledge yourself, you guys. Acknowledge yourself. Shavasana. Rest. Easy rest. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And Shavasana. And feel your connection to the earth, your support, your body on the mat. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Roll over to your right side. Fetal posture. Press yourself up. Easy cross-legged feet. Bring your hands to a prayer at your heart center. 1 Om. Inhale. Bring your hands to your forehead. Namaste. Nice job, guys. Good work. Round of applause. I'm just gonna mute everyone.
That was awesome, mate.
Okay. Thank you, guys. It's a little messy,
Thank you
sorry
so
if it was a little
much.
messy, but just figuring it out as we go. Thank you for joining, and come practice with me again soon, all right? And keep working on it. Today was the first day of your foundation. You planted the seed today. Now you got to keep watering it. And how do you water it? You practice. So keep practicing, all right?
So good.
Good job, guys.
Thank you, Austin.
Thank you
Thank you, Austin.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I'll
you.
see you guys soon.
See ya.
Bye. Take care. Bye, Rosie. Good to see you.
Bye. Take care.
Bye, Brad.
See you, mate.